My wife, if you're hearing this film review is for you. It's always been for you. Please come back. Hey everyone, I'm Emily, and today me and my lovely partner will be doing a film review on the 2012 film The Silver Linings Playbook for no reason in particular. Carly?
What?
We have a film review to do. What are you doing that's so much more important?
Okay, well, that doesn't seem very important because I have to throw the ball around before the game for 10 minutes before the game, because if I don't throw the ball around 10 minutes before the Eagles game and I'm not in my chair to watch the Eagles game, then the Eagles are not going to win the game. And if the Eagles do not win the game, then I'm going to be in a bad mood for the rest of the week until the next Eagles game.
Oh yeah? Well, if we don't do this film review, my wife will never love me again. She loves movies. I'm reviewing a movie for her. She's seeing that I am the person that she wants her to be. You can go watch your game later. Come in.
Fine.
Okay, so now that you're back, today we'll be reviewing the 2012 American film The Silver Linings Playbook. This romantic comedy was produced by David O. Russell and is rated R. This film also stars two very popular actors, Bradley Cooper as Pat Solantano and Jennifer Lawrence as the character Tiffany.
Oh, I know that movie. It has the Eagles in it. Okay, maybe I can make an exception. Oh, but if we're gonna talk about this movie, there's definitely gonna be spoilers. So any of you watching who hasn't seen it, turn back now.
The Silver Linings Playbook follows main character, Pat, as he embarks on the most important journey a man can go through, getting his wife back, that he has a restraining order against. He has his priorities straight, and through this journey, he gains support from his family and meets a new woman named Tiffany. There, she challenges him to a dance competition that they will both compete in order for her to give letters that he wrote to his wife, Nikki. The heartwarming tale follows his adventure to finding how he needs to get his wife back and how he needs to change in order to satisfy those he loves and live in the real world again.
Personally, I thought the film was all right. I mean, I liked the sports, I liked the Eagles. I didn't really like the other unnecessary stuff, like romance, mental illness. Not important to me if the Eagles are not involved. So, I really did like that father character. He really spoke to me. Not sure what it was. I think it was his dedication to the sport. But I think it would have been better if the Eagles went undefeated and there was a little bit more emphasis on that lovely team and cut out all that other stuff.
In order to accurately show how we feel about the certain aspects of this film, we have developed a friendly rating system. We will be rating a select number of wives out of 5 wives. It's my wife. This review's to get her back. Anyways, at the end, we will be combining all 3 categories of 5 wives to create a final total out of 15. Carly, I swear to God, what is that noise?
That is the lovely Eagles marching band. Either I'm doing this review with the TV and with the game on, or I'm not doing this review at all.
You know what? Fine, this is too important. I'll deal with it. Let's get this over with.
Alright, so I guess for this review, we're just going to be talking about the theme of the movie, which revolves around society's negative perception and treatment of people with mental illness. In order to develop that theme, Director Russell develops it through the use of characterization, conflict, and setting. Wow.
The first aspect of theme in the Silver Linings Playbook is portrayed through character, specifically Pat and Tiffany, 2 individuals struggling with mental illness that face challenges due to the way other people treat them. The theme about society's perception of mental illness starts by showing individuals who have reservations towards Pat and Tiffany. For example, Pat's friend's wife, Veronica. He treats both Tiffany, her sister, and Pat a little differently than she would with other individuals. You can tell she's moderately judgmental and just doesn't really know how to communicate with them. Likewise, we have Pat's brother, Jake, who is seemingly awkward when he first comes across his brother again, primarily because he didn't visit him in the psych hospital, but also because he doesn't know how to interact with the kid he once knew was his brother. The scene at 2730 with Veronica and Tiffany shows this characterization very well.
Why do you have to talk about me like that?
I'm just bragging about you. Can I brag about my little sister?
Don't talk about me in the third person.
Please, give me a break.
I'm right here.
Just be nice. Just be nice.
Wow.
In the dinner scene we just showed, that is actually the instance where Pat and Tiffany meet and they begin to bond over their shared experiences regarding mental illness and how people treat them. They're both very open with each other right off the bat, which some characters, like we just showed, are way too open with each other right off the bat. So these conversations between Pat and Tiffany slowly grow into a friendship, but this friendship is not without its arguments, which is going to be the scene we're about to show at timestamp 4820. Note the shallow focus that emphasizes Tiffany in this argument.
Especially after all the shit you just told me.
You think that I'm crazier than you?
Because... well, we're different, I mean.
Oh my God. Oh, you're killing me.
So in this scene, obviously, the two are yelling at each other and making quite a large public scene. Pat is arguing that he is not as crazy as Tiffany, simply because he doesn't want to be seen as the same level as her, as in like sleeping with a million people because he wants to get back with his wife. This is very big example of dramatic irony because neither of them are per se crazy. They're both just experiencing different issues. However, the perception that society put upon mental illness has made them both see themselves as crazy, and so they're kind of arguing with each other to try to debate that. Back to you, Emily.
Personally, I think these character relationships are fantastic and really make the audience root for Pat. They see his struggle, they see Tiffany's struggle, and they see how the relationship grows into something beautiful because of it. What do you think, Carly?
Do you want my real opinion or my review opinion?
Carly, I swear if this has something to do with sports, but tell me how you really feel. I want to know.
I see you've chosen the review opinion. Well, I mean, what can I say? You're right, they do make you want to root for Pat. He's kind of the underdog here. I do really kind of want to root for him. However, I would want to root for him more to get back with his wife if he would just spend more time with his dad and less time dancing. I think family's important. I think the Eagles are important. And he's kind of ruining that. It's no wonder they were losing.
Okay, well, considering your points, we are still ranking this section a solid 5 wives out of 5.
Boo! There wasn't an Eagles mascot in the movie. Boo!
Okay, this isn't productive. What is my wife gonna do when she sees this? Moving on, let's talk about conflicts.
Well, at least this is moving fast. So, moving on from characters, the conflict of the film also helps to develop the theme about mental illness in society. So the main conflict of this film is pretty much Pat's struggle with his own mental well-being and trying to get through recovery. And this can also be symbolized in his reaction to the lovely Kenny G, which is very evident in this scene.
Is that song really playing?
We have music sometimes.
That song is killing me. Could you please turn it off?
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I don't have the controls. I'm sorry.
Did Dr. Timbers put you up to this? Is there a speaker here? Is it the speaker here?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I'll fix all this, okay?
So in that scene you just watched, you might be wondering, what the heck is happening? Essentially, Pat hates Kenny G because he caught his wife cheating to a Kenny G song, which was also his wedding song. Kinda ironic. I'm seeing a pattern in this film. Notice the dolly shot in that scene circling Pat's head, which is foreshadowing something wrong and his upcoming breakdown.
Pat's ability to emotionally explode is a result of his repressed emotions. They cause him to grow angry and overstimulating. This is the normal for him, unfortunately, because he struggled to find help at a young age. These emotions cause him to act in a way that others see as problematic. His self-manipulative actions are a result of his pre-existing mental health disorder, aside from the trauma from the incident of his wife cheating on him. Through help, though, we see the conflict start to form in him getting better. This is apparent for scenes with his therapist, Cliff.
And without any supervision, I've been doing it all on my own, with no help. And, I basically I've been like white knuckling it this whole time.
That had to be hard.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with, especially when you don't know what the hell is happening.
Notice the tight framing used throughout that scene to highlight the serious tone of the office and of the conversation that's being had between Pat and his therapist. In this scene, we see the sad truth of the mental health care situation in the United States and all throughout the world. Most people don't even know they have an issue until it's too late, and they're so old that they don't understand how to control their emotions or how to control the issues that they're dealing with, which are perfectly normal issues, but according to society's perception of them, they consider themselves as different and weird, and some people don't even seek out help because of that.
Mental health causes more conflict in Pat's family other than just his own disorder. His father has compulsive tendencies that lead to severe gambling issues and debt for his family, as he believes things like lining up remotes and circumstantial opportunities leads to the Eagles' victory. However, these thoughts are not always rational and just end in his family with more trouble and debt. The negative results mixed with added debt adds violent anger to his father and desperate behavior. We see his obsessive compulsive tendencies lead to family conflict alongside Pat's issues as well. Here is a scene demonstrating that.
He was in my study. Who took one of my envelopes? Somebody took an envelope.
Maybe we should call the FBI.
No, don't make fun. It's serious. What FBI? Come on, take a look. I'll show you what this is. I'm gonna just explain to you something. I mean, you know what I'm doing, honey. This is everything like this. I got this. It all corresponds.
Dad, I borrowed one of your envelopes. I hope that's not a problem.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Do
You
not
gotta
go
ask.
in my study, all right?
No, it's
I'll
not
eat you.
funny. It's not funny. What's everybody making a joke out of this for?
So I feel like that scene really just showcases that mental illness can be a family issue. It can be genetic, which is a topic that is usually passed over a lot when people think about mental illness. Personally, I think the dad was great. He was opening up to his son. He was being honest about his own issues. People could use that as an example. However, I do feel like the representation of mental illness is a little bit more exaggerated, as the issue is a bit more common in the real world than it is in that movie. But for this case, I'll let it slide because I do think that that exaggeration is necessary to develop this theme. Emily?
You make valid points about the whole mental illness thing, but we're ignoring a large flaw in this movie. It's that Pat abandoned the most important thing to him, getting his wife back. I would never do that. If I love a woman, I would be loyal to her. Instead, he decides to make friends with his dancing partner and love his family again. What about Nikki? What about Nikki? I would never do this to my wife. It's exhausting.
That's great. Okay. We rate the conflict a 4 wives out of 5. Because, yes, it did a very good job of developing the theme and the characters and Pat's struggle with himself. But I guess he didn't find Nikki. Okay.
We rated a 4 out of 5. You do. 1, 0. -7. I don't care. Pointless.
Okay.
Eagles, touchdown. E-A-G. Oh. Yay, Eagles. Anyways, moving on to setting.
The Eagles got a touchdown. Let's go, baby. This is not the time for a review. I have to go support my team.
And I have a divorce to repeal, so this is no time for football. Starting with how setting affects the theme.
I don't know how much longer I can do this. Anyway, the setting in this film also helps develop the theme. The setting really kind of recognizes the judgment that society has on those with mental illness by showing Pat and Tiffany's surroundings and how it interacts with them. Like in this scene.
Happy Halloween.
This scene is a great example on how spectators in the public view unstable individuals. They see every interaction that Pat and Tiffany have, whether it be a simple dinner or a moderately heated conversation, as this huge piece of drama to look at. They're like, look at these people, they're not me, don't be like them. And I think that sort of small town judgment that Pat and Tiffany get really accentuates the theme of how society views people with mental illness.
Yeah, people definitely make a public spectacle over just like normal everyday things that Pat and Tiffany do. Another example of the setting changing the theme would be at the Eagles game in this scene. I love the Eagles. So in this scene, Pat is entering the Eagles stadium to start tailgating before the big game. Go Eagles, love that for him. Anyway, the setting in this scene is very loud, very overstimulating. You can see all of the people rushing by Pat as he's looking around trying to find his brother. You can see his kind of confused and overwhelmed look on his face. And for someone of mental illness, especially someone who's just gotten out of a psychiatric facility, they have not been around crowds this big in quite a while, especially in Pat's case. So this environment is very overstimulating for him, and it makes the audience wonder, like, is he going to be able to handle this? What's going to happen next? And it builds a little suspense there.
This setting effectively showed how Pat and Tiffany struggled to adapt to certain social and stimulating aspects of their life. And it also gave an opportunity to see how Pat's family looks at him and his community sees him.
Well, that's great and all, but I thought it was kind of mid. I mean, it was kind of boring at times. They were in the house, and then they were running on the streets, and like it fits the story, and I get it, but I was kind of boring. Now, the Eagles scene. Oh, so good. It was lively. There were so many people. I could tell they were just having a great time, loving the Eagles, and I respect that. The dancing scene was pretty good too. I liked the lights and the dark atmosphere. It was pretty dramatic, and I liked that. So we're gonna rate this area a 3 out of 5 because, I mean, it fit the story, but it was a little bit boring at times, and it didn't contribute to the theme as much as the other elements.
Moving on to the final review of the Silver Linings Playbook, we combined all of our totals out of 5 wife heads for each 3 sections, and now we have a total of 12 out of 15 wife heads.
What are you wearing?
I used this film as an educational opportunity and learned from the main character, Pat, that if you wear a trash bag while you run, you get skinty. And my wife would like me to be fit. And I mean, this is all for her, and I need to be productive about this, so I'm trying it out.
I'm gonna move on. The game's almost over. I'm not missing another second of it. Let's wrap this up. If you want to see this movie, I mean, it has my recommendation. It was pretty good for people who like this sort of genre, like a romantic comedy, more for like feel-good movie lovers. It has a pretty good personality and some pretty good actors, and I had an overall good time watching it.
However, if you're looking for a film that has super accurate representation of living mental illness, Silver Linings Playbook might not be for you. Carly, what are you doing?
Winner, chicken dinner. Let's go EAGLCS.
I guess Carly won't be joining us anymore today. All in all, though, I feel like I learned a lot from Pat's character. I mean, I love my wife, but being able to see him get over Nikki like that was inspiring, and I might have to do the same.
Really?